This podcast is a proud member of the UUOP Network.
Are you ready to go the distance with Trisha's Disney pick? Or will Melinda deliver a Jurassic-sized knockout punch with her universal choice on this episode of Theme Park Throwdown?
Hey everyone, and welcome to episode 13 of Theme Park Throwdown. I am Melinda at Melinda's Magical Adventures on Facebook and Instagram, and I am here with
Trisha, and I'm at Trisha Travels on Facebook and Trisha Travels 85 on Instagram.
Hey everybody, how you doing? We've got a really fun topic to get to eventually this week, but first we're going to take it back to episode 11, which was a couple weeks ago, and we're going to talk about the Battle of the Best Festival food. I'm already missing the Rasta pasta and still sad about it, still salty about it, but what you guys care about is that you voted in our Who Won polls on Instagram and Facebook, and our winner for the best festival dining on a budget was Disney.
Oh, you love me. You really love me.
I am not surprised about this one because I really was shocked at just the amount of items that you were able to buy on your budget this year with the adjusted prices this year that were a little bit lower. So
what they don't tell you is you get 1 cube of meat, 1 vegetable.
Oh, hey, you won. What are you doing?
I mean, it's a plethora. You'll be so full.
So I've watched some more vloggers covering the Flower and Garden Festival since it's still going on until the beginning of June. And I really wish I had taken the time to try more items while I was there. Because there are some items that just look so good, and my mouth waters sitting there watching these videos and seeing this footage. But just the sheer amount of people, I just wasn't waiting in those lines. So
yeah, that's the hard part. I wish they would adapt the way they do it in Disneyland, where you can go to a kiosk and you can buy all the items you're interested in, and then just go to those other kiosks and pick it up. That would just be so much simpler.
It seems like a really great way to do things.
Yeah, but no, instead we have to make everybody suffer because for Disney World. I don't know.
I wonder if that would be too difficult to implement in Orlando just because of the amount of people, because of the crowd level.
Okay, so if it was me, if I was like Josh tomorrow or whoever's in charge of all this stuff, there's the, not Communicore Hall. It's the one that's behind the ice cream stand where they do the nitrogen freezing. I'm totally drawing a blank on what that is. The Figment popcorn bucket pickup was there one year. But it's just it's an older building. It's sometimes they put a booth in there. Sometimes it's not used for anything. I think what they need to do is just set up a bank of registers in there, and you go there and they either do one of two things. You buy what you want. If you don't know what you want, you can buy a punch card, and you just need to make the items be maybe you have a deluxe punch card and a standard, and certain items are on the deluxe, and then you go to the different whatever, they just punch your card, or they, if they do it where you buy it ahead of time or whatever, the lines would move a lot faster. That's for sure.
Yeah, that makes sense. I mean, I think that would be a good, because you would still have to, there'd be a lot of crowds there, but then you would still have to go and pick up your items in their respective places. So it would at least disperse crowds that way.
Yeah. And if you take all of those registers at the different kiosks and you just took them all to one central place, there's 2 at every kiosk. So they would have a substantial number of these things. So
yeah, because all the lines that I saw, the lines were waiting to order, not waiting to pick up the food at the second window. So, interesting. I also, yes, I know. I also just wanted to bring up really quick and rag on Disney a little bit, just a little bit, maybe a lot of bit. We've got a lot of Disney Halloween news dropping today. You know what I'm going to say.
Yeah.
So
Go ahead.
Disney dropped their marketing campaign for Mickey's Not So Scary Halloween Party on Instagram and Facebook yesterday. And they dropped these like tarot cards, and you have to look for images on the tarot cards to figure out certain details about the Mickey's Not So Scary Halloween Party.
Mm-hmm.
The one that came out that detailed the date, the starting date, which we know now is August 7th, which is hella early. Holy crap.
It's still summer.
I know. But the tarot card that came out, caption under the Instagram and Facebook post, is a direct copy from Universal and the way that they announced the first little bit of information about Halloween Horror Nights this year. They sent out these PR packages in the mail to certain social media personalities that were physical tickets that had a message. And if you looked at the capital letters in the message, it spelled out icon, leading everybody to know that this ticket was going to have information to reveal the icon at the MegaCon that was that weekend. So now in the caption of this Instagram post yesterday from Disney, you got to look through all the capital letters and they spell out August 7th. And I'm like, you got to be kidding me. It could be a coincidence. They could come up with these marketing strategies months in advance. Here's my problem with that. Universal's was a physical item that needed to be printed and sent out to their PR list. Disney's was a digital campaign. It was Instagram and it was Facebook. It doesn't take that long to pivot a digital campaign if there's an issue with it. Because that was like over a month ago when Universal did it.
All I'm going to say is that, what do they say? Mirroring someone is the sincerest form of flattery?
I mean, I'll take it, but come on now.
Or copying them. I mean, let's face this, okay? I'm going to lay it out there. I'm a Disney fan, but they never change anything. Although this year you can meet Lilo and Stitch. So exciting. Anyway, you can also meet them every single day if you get dinner or breakfast at Ohana. So whatever. Anyway, but the biggest thing is what date the party is going to start. And I think we've hit the point where Disney is bordering on ridiculous in a lot of different fronts. And I say this with love, Disney. But being a Star Wars fan, do not drop Spirit jerseys in a mystery box for $100 a piece. I'm not spending $100 and then getting some like Jar Jar Binks Spirit jersey. I am sorry. That's not happening. Like, you hit a ceiling. Stop it.
Yeah.
It's fine. I liked the picture. I thought they did a nice job with that. It was very...
cute. The theory behind it was adorable, but
I mean, like they're a little late to the party on some things. So, but you know what? It's not going to stop people from paying over $100 a head.
Of course not.
To go to a Halloween party when your kid just stop putting out fireworks for 4th of July, basically. So.
August 7th is crazy, but I mean,
I can't believe
the demand
that.
is there. The demand is there. People will be there. It will sell out. So,
but that's the one thing that irritates me a little bit. Like, okay, if you don't know, and anyone who's listening, well, you all will know that, like, yes, it's easier to get on rides the day of parties because people who have like single park tickets don't want to go to Magic Kingdom on a day when it closes early. I totally get that. I've been to this party a couple of times. The mix-in time is like a disaster. It is so crowded because you've got all these people leaving or staying until the very last second. All these people trying to get in right away to get every like penny's worth out of their party ticket.
Yeah.
That's crazy. But we're going down in early October We are not getting party tickets. And of the time I'm down there, one of the days is a non-party day. It's like,
Wow.
that's not that. I mean, come on. Like 25% of your dates essentially are non-party days. Like that hurts people who go on vacation there.
Yeah.
You know, and it's
it does.
now you're
Absolutely.
pushing it like back off, Disney. Nobody needs free M&Ms that badly. That's all I have to say. I'm done now. You're pissing me off lately.
How you really feel?
First the chicken and now this.
Oh no. Okay. Well,
I already
who the winner of this episode is.
Battle. I like we both had that thought at the exact same time.
Whoops.
Yeah, well, I'll go down swinging.
Okay. Well, with that being said, let's move on to our battle for this week. In this episode, we're going to be covering parades and at Disney cavalcades as well, because they can't just have parades. They have to have other weird little strange things too. We'll get that. We'll talk about the best of the best, and knowing us, we'll probably find some things to complain about as well. So, Trisha, are you ready to fight the first round? Kick it off?
Oh, yeah. So, you know.
Clearly you're ready.
I'm ready to fight. Maybe myself in some cases, but so parades at Disney are like free giveaways to Oprah. You get a parade and you get a parade. Everybody gets a parade. Okay. So
you're so right.
One thing I want to point out, or a couple of just notes before I dive into things. If you type in the word parade in the search on the app, so download the app if you're going to a park, it'll give you a list of the parades, and that includes the cavalcades and the pageant that I'll be talking about as well a little bit. And it gives you, and in that, that's okay. You and I are on the same page with that one. So
yeah, we are.
But it gives you like the times when those things will be happening, a brief description. So I highly recommend that you have access to the app if you are going to a park, especially in the States. The other thing too, these parades are weather dependent. So even when I talk about some specialty parades towards the end, like even you might pay that ticket that we just talked about for Mickey's Not So Scary, that Boo to You parade might not happen if it's a downpour or a tsunami. Like you're just going to have to deal with that. And that can upset some people because they paid a lot of money for this extra event and they don't get to experience the full thing, which is in the fine print at the bottom. So keep that in mind. But anyway, because it had the word parade in it, and not a lot of people know about this, there's this thing in the circus area of Magic Kingdom called Maleficent on Parade. Yeah, I know. I didn't just make that up, I swear. And it opened actually like almost exactly 2 years ago in May. And it's presented by Scentsy, which is like this company where you can buy like melts and stuff. And they have like Disney and
I have heard of this.
I have one. I have Grogu. I'm not going to lie. I'm not the biggest fan of their wax melts. I have some from them, and then I have some from Magic Candle Company who, oh my God, I love them. I will 100% buy their products.
Yes.
They're a little pricey, but you get what you pay for. Scentsy, like the smells are nice, but the wax is kind of cheap. And there's times where like I had a box with like the little plastic things that have like the little like ice cube trays, I call it, of like the little squares of wax. And it started like separating, and there was like a liquid that formed over the top of the Scentsy. And it was like 3 or 4 months after buying it. It wasn't like these were sitting in a closet in the hot sun for like 2 years. And I'm like, well, that's odd. So I don't think they make as good of, but they have really cute melts. But anyway, so they paired up with Disney, and they have these colorful like elephant statues. They're probably about 3 feet tall. And the theme of the elephants, so like one has cotton candy, one has popcorn. So when you walk around in that area, kids can do kind of like a treasure hunt and find these elephants. And they actually have they missed the scent that the elephant is decorated as. So like popcorn and stuff like that.
That's cute.
So I just want to post that out there because like Storybook Circus is often overlooked by most adults and older kids because it is like a lot of like kiddie coasters and stuff like that. But I thought it was a cute thing and something worth mentioning. The next parade is the Main Street Philharmonic Marching Band. They don't actually call it that, but I'm adding that because everyone's like, wait, what's that mean? It debuted in April of 2000, replacing the Main Street, actually called the Main Street Marching Band, which sadly opened just a few weeks after the park opened in 1971. It had a really long run, like 30 years, this marching band was providing entertainment down Main Street. So they come kind of from like Liberty Square, and they play like classic Disney songs. They do some like swing or ragtime music, like the song 76 Trombones from the Music Man, or like Take Me Out to the Ball Game. So like, it's not really a parade, but it's an activity worth like, they move down Main Street. So I was like, okay, maybe it counts. I don't know. But they perform a couple of times a day. Again, check the app. In addition to like not really a parade are the cavalcades. So these became a thing during the pandemic because they wanted to offer a parade-like experience without having crowds gathering. So they wouldn't announce when the floats would come out, and it would be like one or two floats, so they would pass by really quickly. There were no street actors or entertainment. It was just the people on the floats to give social distancing. So where I see this is the one that's actually posted right now is the Disney's Adventure Cavalcade.
I saw that one when I was there last month.
It's kind of weird. It's just like a bunch of random characters, like Judy Hopps from like Zootopia, Miguel from Coco, the Toy Story characters. Miko! It's like,
I love Miko from Pocahontas, and Miko is in that cavalcade. So that's what I was excited to see. But yes, it was kind of a strange combination of characters.
But it runs like a handful of times throughout the day, and it goes where all the other parades are, where it kind of starts back by Frontierland next to Tiana's, and then it makes its way down through this bridge where there's, what is that called? Liberty Square, and then it kind of comes out by the hub and down Main Street. It's usually just like a couple of floats. It doesn't last very long. Honestly, like, it's not even really announced. I feel like the music just starts to swell and change in whatever section it's coming on. And then they have like the cast members that are like, get out of the way.
Yeah. So that's how I remember it.
It is typically they typically only run it in like mid to late morning. So if you wanted to see in the afternoon or whatever, you're not going to have a chance. But it is a good way of seeing characters like Miko. You can't really see him anywhere in the park now. Unless it's
it was some like lesser seen characters or characters that you don't typically see in Magic Kingdom. Woody was in it. You don't ever really see Woody in Magic Kingdom. Miko and Pocahontas.
How do they pick these characters? Is my question.
It was a very weird. Like Bruno from Encanto so the two floats were Encanto, and Bruno was up there, and Miguel from Coco had his float, and then it was like just randomness. I think Snow White and Prince Charming too. Like
maybe they pulled a bunch of like 8-year-olds and they're like, "What do you want to see?" But other cavalcades, they're not listed on the app. But other ones that I've seen, I think in the last year at Hollywood Studios, they had a Pixar one, and it was just like a couple of cars. And like not from the movie Cars, but just standard cars and like convertibles, and like Buzz was sitting like on the top part of the back seat on one, and like Incredibles. So it's just like kind of weird. I've also seen they have these like antique cars that you kind of see on Main Street, but they actually have some in Epcot too. And I've seen it a few times, and I don't know if it's more like a delivery system of the princesses, but it's the ones that you would meet, like Belle and Snow White and Sleeping Beauty are 3 that you can meet in Epcot at various countries. And they were all like on this antique car driving like through the countries of Epcot and waving and whatever. And I was like, what's happening right like that. And then the last one that I've seen, it was at the holidays, like during the day when you don't have a party ticket. They had a couple of the floats, like they had the giant Christmas tree and Mickey and Minnie were on it. Like that's the one I remember coming out. I don't know if they're still doing that anymore. But those are ones that they had. And I've never seen it, but I've heard of it, that there is a rainy day cavalcade. So if it's raining during the big parade, they'll send out a couple of the like cavalcade type floats instead that are like special just for that. I saw it
last year, I believe. It was actually really cute. All the characters had their little umbrellas, and it was just a couple floats. I can't remember what the floats were, which characters were out, but it was short and sweet.
But, you know, I think that's their way of like, yeah, we know it's raining. They don't ever have any, like if it's wet, they don't ever have like any street performers because they don't want people slipping and things like that. Yeah, so those are the kind of like the cavalcades. They're sort of like impromptu in a way. But then before we dive into like the meat of the parades, we have to talk about the, what do they say, the redheaded stepchild known as the electric water pageant.
Excuse me. Yes.
Okay. Back when this came out in 1971, all right, it is very original. It hasn't changed
since then.
It has not. So if you like nostalgia and you like the old, like whatever, and you like being woken up from a dead sleep by blaring like electronic music at like 10 o'clock at night, this is the parade for you. No. So
awful, y'all.
As I put in my notes, it's odd, it's old, and it's annoying. So pretty much sums it up. So this happens out on, is it Bay Lake, I believe? And it makes a round. It goes Poly, Grand Floridian, Wilderness Lodge / Fort Wilderness, and the Contemporary. Usually starts around 8:30. Never finishes, it feels like. The thing that can be really annoying about this is that depending on how late Magic Kingdom is open and the boat transportation, if this is running, they won't run the boats if it's in the way. So it's also, like I said, it's annoying. Just keep that in mind. No one's running. But I mean, if you want to see it, you can. My daughter and I stayed at Garden View Room at the Contemporary, and we did 2 park days. We had no hoppers. One day we took the monorail to Magic Kingdom. One day we just walked to Magic Kingdom. And then one day we took the monorail to Epcot. And both and then we had like a pool day. So we had 3 nights, and every single night I was like, please make it stop. And nothing. Pillow over the head, like,
oh, it's loud.
It's just blasting. It's these boats that are like chained together in a line. They light up. There's serpents and there's a flag. It's about as eclectic a mix as the cavalcade. Okay, like you don't know what you're doing. And you know, so I don't particularly care for it. I think I appreciate what it was in its day. I think that now there's so much better technology of things that I would rather maybe they use that space to look at a drone show again or something. I don't know.
Yeah.
But can we stop with that, please? Please, Disney. I value my sleep.
Put it away.
Anyway. Okay, back to super happy fun times. We're moving on to the Grand Puma of parades, and that is Disney's Festival of Fantasy Parade, which some people call the 3 o'clock parade. And then people ask, what time is the 3 o'clock parade? And it was a running joke because sometimes the parade was between 2 and 2:30. And people are like, what? So thank you, Disney, for also making that very confusing. But anyway, so it's a newer parade. They've always had one, but this is the most recent. And by most recent, okay, my daughter has been going to Disney for almost a decade. It hasn't changed. So if you haven't seen it, you probably have time. If you have seen it, you can see it again. It's cute. Or you can take advantage of the lower lines at the attractions and go on those instead. But
it's a great parade, though.
It is. I have the best pictures. I'm not going to lie. The characters in this parade, they can spot people with cameras taking pictures, and they pose. I have such great pictures from this parade. One of the, all the parade routes pretty much run from back of Frontier because there's a giant wooden gate there. Through Liberty Square, they go over the bridge. So if you're looking at the castle, it's over the bridge on the left side, around in front of the castle, and then down Main Street. But anyway, so this parade, it only lasts 12 minutes. It seems like it lasts way longer than that, but
Wow,
it is
it
packed.
does.
Yeah. You have to wait an hour.
I never
before.
realized it was that short. Yeah.
But they have a lot of floats. They have a lot of characters that you don't necessarily get to interact with or see anywhere else in the park, which is kind of nice. They have this 53-foot long Maleficent dragon that will either blow fire for guests to ooh and ah over, or will self-ignite and have to be taken out of commission, depending on how well it's
happened more than once. Yeah.
But my favorite
is really impressive, though.
It is when it's working. So, but my favorite is the Rapunzel float. Rapunzel, like I grew up on The Little Mermaid in terms of movies, but in terms of like actual fairy tales, I was a Rapunzel fan. I always wanted the long hair. And then I grew up and realized long hair is hard to manage for me, at least. And I marvel at how gorgeous your hair looks, by the way. Mine always looks like this.
Oh, thanks. I haven't washed it in 3 days.
That's what I'm doing wrong. Anyway, but they have these axes that like swing, these giant axes, and they almost like swing out like overhead. And there's like people from Snuggly Duckling and Flynn Rider and stuff. And I don't know, the tunes are catchy. It's a really cute parade. So if you haven't ever seen it, make up point to see it. I love like
the 3 fairies from Sleeping Beauty that are on their little segways that do the turns all over the place and look like they're actually like flying and floating.
Yeah, that's so cute.
Those are cool.
But like I said, this is at 3:00, which can be one of the hottest points in the day. So if you're there during the summer, try to find shade if you can, just because it can be. I was unfortunately got stuck on the right side of Main Street and I fried a little bit. But
I recommend trying to watch that one from Liberty Square.
Yeah, it's usually
that's
less
kind
crowded.
of where it starts off, and it's usually less crowded. There is usually some room underneath the pavilion for the Hall of Presidents. That's kind of where I try to like duck in. And even if there's a ton of people in front of you, even if you're standing like against basically the entrance for the Hall of Presidents, you can still get a really good view of the parade. And you're under an awning. You don't have to worry about the sun. So
keep that in mind, people. It's a great idea. All right. Now, the counterpart to the daytime parade is they still call it new. I'm not sure when new is no longer new. I mean, we're still celebrating the 75th anniversary of Disneyland like 2 years later. And that is Disney Starlight, Dream the Night Away, because we can't just stop at Disney Starlight. It debuted last year. And it marked the return of a nighttime parade after almost 10 years, replacing Main Street Electrical Parade, which, RIP. I actually was looking through some old family photos and I found some really bad ones that my dad took with like a click and like the click with the disposable camera. Yeah. They're really bad, but there's like an angled one of like the dwarfs and they're like hats are all lit up and stuff like that. And I'm like, oh man, I miss that parade. Anyway, depending on the time of year and the level of crowds, they'll do 1 to 2 showings. So check the app for times. And the times vary between 8 and 11. Usually it's a little bit later in the summer because they want to make sure that the sun has set and it's dark enough that you can actually enjoy the lights of the parade. Now, this parade has gotten a little bit of heat. The 2 biggest complaints I hear, it's too short and there's not enough walk around characters filling the space between the floats. Here is my thought on that. 1, it is shorter, but it's also paired with the fireworks. So I think they're trying to be mindful that people aren't standing for like excessive amounts of time. Even though it doesn't matter if you're standing excessively in line, but whatever.
You're either standing or you're walking around the park. So
exactly. And then the second thing is, I do hope that at some point, maybe they can increase the number of walk-around characters. The thing that's different, though, is that with the previous parade, there were a lot more like smaller light-up things, whereas like this one is just a lot of bigger floats, and I think there's a higher risk of injury. You know, so that could be part of the reason like they went a different route. They need to be careful. I mean, I appreciate the fact they want to keep people safe. honestly.
Yeah.
But
I watched it and I don't remember thinking that it was, I do remember thinking maybe it was a little short, but I was amazed by it. I was very pleasantly surprised.
Now, when I watched this one, it actually came up Main Street, not down. And it ended back. And I think I was at the earlier, either the earlier or the only showing that night. So I don't know if maybe if it's the only showing, they run it backwards or what. I don't know.
That's what happened with mine too. And I saw the earlier show as well.
So I wonder if they run it up and then maybe run it back.
Did I see that earlier
I don't know.
No, there was only one show that night. There was only one show the night that I was there. And it ran up Main Street and then into Liberty Square.
So I'm sure they've got some reason for that. So just if you want to see it and then move on, maybe ask a cast member which direction it's traveling so that you're at the front or end wherever you want to be. So the final parades, I'm just going to briefly mention, we have 2 seasonal parades. The first is the Boo to You parade. It is an evening parade, but only during the Mickey's Not So Scary Halloween party. So you have to have a party ticket to see this parade. You cannot see it any other time. They don't do it during the day like November 1st or anything like that. And as of this recording, they haven't announced the dates, as we mentioned, of the party. So if you're interested, you can reach out to one of us and we can help get you set up with all of that. But I love this parade. I think it's great. I love the song. I love the characters. My favorite things. These are a few of my favorite things. Anyway, the Headless Horseman that starts the parade is just wickedly cool.
So cool.
Yeah. 2, this is special. If you want to see this, you have to be on Main Street. Max from the Goofy movie, or Goof's, like Goofy's son, he dresses as Powerline and he does this whole dance routine with his group of dancers, but only down Main Street. So if you're at the end of Main Street where there's the picture spot with the statue, he doesn't go that far. But the parade will go between that hub and the train station. So you'll see the parade, you just won't see Max. And the third thing that I really love about this parade, they have these guys that look like they're kind of corpse, white paint, and they dance with shovels. They're like grave diggers. And they do this thing where they put the shovel down and they spin around. It creates sparks. It's just so cool. So I love it. It's probably my favorite parade that they have in Disney World, which is sad that I can only see it unless, when you have a party ticket. So I guess maybe if you're a big fan of the parade, starting in August is okay then. The other one, I got to take a deep breath for this. Mickey's Once Upon a Christmas Time parade, featured during the Mickey's Very Merry Christmas Party. Oh my God, that was a mouthful. It's a cute parade.
Why?
Because they want to drive us crazy. It's a cute parade. It's very Christmassy. There's cookie scents that they have coming off the float. Santa's part of the parade. I know him. Oh. And then it ends. We had it ending again after it kind of goes in front of the train station. One thing though about this parade, yes, it's during the parties, but if you're there between Christmas and New Year's, they run it typically noon and 3 that week during regular park hours. Now it's during the day, you don't get the nighttime feel, but if you don't want to spend the money on the ticket and you'd love to see the parade, that is an option. Okay, so just keep that in mind.
That's cool.
And finally, because like I said, Disney is the grand Pumbaa of parades. I just want to give an honorable mention since I was out in Disneyland recently. Paint the Night, which they brought back for the 75th anniversary. It's their nighttime parade in Disneyland, is so phenomenal. Let me just say, they have a full-size semi-truck as part of this parade. It's Mac from the Cars franchise. I mean, I don't even understand. There's a giant Slinky. They have so many characters. The costuming is, I was so if you're interested in ever seeing that parade, you might want to get tickets to get out there soon because I don't know if this is going to continue once they've completed the 75th celebration. I'm hoping that they keep it around, or a version of this, because it is just, it's like my childhood. It's just like, I love this. So I had to mention that one because it was just so phenomenal. But now I'm done gushing and maybe a little bit of hating on some of the parades at Disney. And I'm going to turn over to Melinda to talk about Universals.
All right. Well, Universal definitely doesn't have as many parades as Disney World, but they still know how to put on a really good show. Like Disney, Universal's parades only occur in one park. They only occur in Universal Studios Florida. Currently, there are no parades that happen in Islands of Adventure or Epic Universe. The only thing that could even be like considered some sort of parade, I guess, in Islands of Adventure is when the superheroes in Marvel Superhero Island come out on their ATVs down the street and just kind of like ride around and do a couple tricks at one point in the day. I would not. Maybe that's Universal's version of a cavalcade. But that's the only parade-ish thing that you're going to see outside of Universal Studios. But in Universal Studios, I will go out in the order of when the parades start throughout the year. So that means we're going to start off with Mardi Gras. The Mardi Gras parade debuted in 1995, which is the first year that Mardi Gras occurred in Universal Studios Florida. Runs daily once throughout the entire Mardi Gras festival, weather permitting, just like at Disney. It's all dependent on the weather. The most interesting thing that people may not know about this Mardi Gras parade is it's very authentic to New Orleans Mardi Gras, because the parade floats are designed by Blaine Kern, who is known as Mr. Mardi Gras. He is the leading parade designer and float builder for Mardi Gras floats for 18 different crews, or 18 different like companies that put on the parade in New Orleans. And they've worked for New Orleans Mardi Gras since 1947, which is wild. Wow. So he is responsible for planning the parade, designing these floats, making everything actually come to life. When Universal Mardi Gras began in 1995, they actually drove the entire parade of completed floats from New Orleans to Orlando just on the highway. Like there are pictures of this parade just on I-5, just headed into Orlando. So I think that's just really like cool to imagine and would have been absolutely amazing to see. I could just imagine driving down the highway with kids and having them be like, "Mom, there's an alligator."
I actually experienced that last summer. We did a road trip down we did a road trip down to Louisiana, and we saw there was I don't think it was part of anything, but someone had this double-decker party float. People had beads and like grass skirts. I was like, what is happening here? And we were on a highway going like at least 55 miles an hour. These people were drinking. So like, I'm like, open beverages on a moving vehicle. And they're like, ah, like waving. And then they were trying to throw, like people were opening their sunroofs and they were trying to throw beads into people's sunroofs. And I'm like, what is happening right now? Like, it was wild.
Okay.
So this doesn't surprise me.
That seems like maybe not such a great idea, but okay.
There was an alligator.
A little bit of a road hazard,
dressed as an alligator. So anyway, so it's real authentic.
The present day Mardi Gras parade is made up of 12 floats, most of which change theme every year. A couple of them they bring back year after year, especially like the King Gator float, which is the giant alligator. They also have like a double-decker riverboat that comes back every year or so. There are also tons of performers like dancers and stilt walkers and musicians that walk around the floats and add to the fun. Obviously, you're going to have Mardi Gras themed music, lots of jazz bands. You're going to hear the Feet Don't Fail Me Now song over and over and over and over again, and it will be stuck in your head all day, every day. So have fun with that. This parade runs in the early evening every day, somewhere between 5 to 7 p.m. It kind of changes depending on the date, but you can log on to the Universal app and look at the dates and times in the app. Another thing that makes this parade extra special is the fact that guests can ride on the floats and toss the infamous Mardi Gras beads to the crowd. You have 3 chances or 3 different ways that you can find your way onto a float. The first, which is going to guarantee you a spot on a float, is to buy a ride and dine package, which gets you a full table service dinner before the parade. And then you are guaranteed a spot on a float to don your little poncho costume and throw beads. You, if you are a pass holder, can log on at a certain time. They announce it like a week ahead of or so, and you log online and try to get in the queue for a spot to ride. However, these go hella quickly. Like within hours, these spots are gone for the entire Mardi Gras festival. So don't count on this one.
Wow.
The third way that you also can't count on is just to take your chances and join the standby line, which is near the Animal Actors Stadium. If you head on over there a couple hours before parade starts, like 2:30, 3 o'clock, somewhere in there, sometimes you can join the standby queue to get onto a float. Sometimes they'll have availability, sometimes they won't. It's just entirely dependent on how many people they have signed up for that night. But I've never personally done it, but everybody that I have talked to or heard from that has done it has said it's an absolutely incredible experience and it's so much fun. You just might have a sore arm for a few days afterwards, and just be careful with your aim, because I have gotten knocked in the head with beads one too many times. Those who are chosen are going to have a really incredible time. So it's worth it to try to get a spot. So a fun parade, very colorful, very fun music, just a really good upbeat atmosphere. I don't feel like I ever really take the time to like sit and watch this entire parade from one singular spot. I kind of will, like, as I'm moving about the park, will stop for a couple seconds and look at the different float that's going by at that time. But that's also probably because I've seen it so many times year after year, because I'm always there for the Mardi Gras season. So I've seen it a lot, even though it does change a little bit every year, but it's fun.
Okay. So I have a really quick question. We were down there during Mardi Gras. I don't remember ever seeing the parade, but there were like these women dressed as shrimp in like really sparkly costumes.
They're my favorite.
That would just like,
yes, they're so cute.
Like, come out and like, and it wasn't just them. There were other characters that came out throughout the day that were. Is that a thing? Like, do they still do that?
Yes, okay. Absolutely. Just when I was there a month ago, they have stilt walkers that'll come out in certain costumes throughout the day. They have the jazz band that'll come out and do performances throughout the day. So definitely not a full parade, but certain characters that you will see throughout the Mardi Gras parade will also come out and kind of make the rounds a little bit throughout the day. So,
okay.
Yeah.
So I wasn't crazy.
Yeah. No, you are not. And I do love those shrimp. They are absolutely beautiful. But we're going to move on to my absolute favorite parade that Universal has ever had, which is the Universal Mega Movie Parade. This one is 100% for the nostalgia fans like me. Y'all know that is my number one thing. That is the number one reason why I love the park so much. And this one hits so hard. This parade debuted in 2024 and is the summer parade that runs once a day, typically early May-ish to like early to mid-August, usually early August. There are 13 floats and over 100 performers. And you'll see floats from the classic Universal movies. So E.T., Back to the Future, Jaws, Ghostbusters, Jurassic Park, like all the old classic heavy hitters you're going to see in this parade. But there are also some newer IPs, Trolls, Kung Fu Panda, Despicable Me. So some things that are going to be great for the kids as well and pay homage to the newer Universal babies. They just go all out with this parade. It is inevitable. I'm going to cry every time I see it. The section that I cry at changes almost every time. It's usually E.T. But I'm going to cry every time. The floats are absolutely insane. are huge. Don't get
Oh,
me
yeah.
started on the full size drooling T-Rex that ends the parade. It is just this absolutely massive T-Rex that moves its head. It has this really realistic spit hanging out of its mouth. It's got the roar. It's amazing. I love it so much. I could talk about it forever. I'm sad that this parade doesn't run for like a bigger chunk of the year, but I understand why it can't and why it is just a summer parade. So it obviously can't run during Mardi Gras, which is usually the first festival of the year. So if Mardi Gras ends mid-May, that's when they start this summer parade. And then it also cannot run. It has to end before Halloween Horror Nights starts, because a lot of the set pieces that are set along the streets for Halloween Horror Nights block the parade routes and they can't get the floats through. So it can only run for those couple summer months, but it's worth it 100%. And I guess too much of a good thing is a bad thing, I guess. I
don't know. I love it. And I love like the stupid little things, like with the ET float, all the guys and the bicycles. Like
so
the
great
scene when all the kids are like trying to, are on the bikes towards the end of the movie. And like they were doing tricks and I was like, oh my God. Don't crash. And
I know. It's a little scary.
So good.
I think the best part of the parade is the music. They start off at the beginning of the parade with like the typical Universal fanfare, kind of like, but it's like a new spin on it that kind of brings more life into it. And it's just fun and consuming. The performers, like you said, are absolutely incredible. They've got the BMX bikers that do tricks during the ET scene. They've got skateboarders that are doing all kinds of like flips and stuff on these little electronic skateboards during the Back to the Future scene.
Oh yeah,
just
that was
really
cool.
Yeah, really fun stuff like that. Obviously, dancers. If you watch the Jaws portion, you'll see the mayor come out and he'll come up to everybody and like talk to them about how the beach is safe. Everything is safe. You should stay. You're going to have fun for the 4th of July. It's very authentic to those IPs and those movies. So that's really cool. Before you see the awesome Jaws float with Quint standing on top of the orca, the entire full Amity marching band comes down the street and kind of precedes this float. And so that's a whole nother aspect. You get to see a full marching band, which is really cool. I literally can't say enough about this parade. It hits me right in the feels every single time. And if I'm in the park on a day when this parade is going on, especially since it's such a short window of time that you get to see it, I will literally plan my entire day around it. So I make sure that I can see it.
When we went, we sat on the grass. Is that Central Park or whatever? Is that what they call that? I always forget what they call it. And we got there like super early. So, and like that grass is like comfortable enough to sit on. So if you go as a group, what we did is we like staked our claim and then one person ran and got like food. And so we ate while we were like waiting for the parade. So it didn't feel like you were just wasting your time. And being able to sit in that like artificial grass was like more comfortable than sitting on like a cement curb. So
yeah, for sure. I will get there super early because like I said, I'll literally plan my day around this parade. I'll check the parade time in the app. I'll get there super early and I go and grab a table right outside Cafe La Bamba because that's right where the parade comes through those esoteric gates, which are between Cafe La Bamba and the horror makeup show. That's where all the parades come out from. And typically they come out from there and then go down Hollywood Boulevard towards like the front entrance of the park and then loop back around that way. Yeah. And so I will get there super early so I can grab a table at Cafe La Bamba and just sit at a table under an umbrella with a comfy chair and just watch this awesome parade go by. So love it. And then I usually, once the whole parade passes me and like continues on its route, I will then like run to New York to hit it again. Watch it again as it comes past me. Or I'll just stay in my spot and watch it get back to me because it exits the same area that it entered in those esoteric gates.
Oh my gosh.
So
that's so funny.
I told you I'm obsessed. Lastly, we're going to move on to the holiday parade featuring Macy's.
How
Can
do
you
you
tell how
really
I feel about
it?
This parade runs nightly, typically at 5:30, again, weather permitting, throughout the holidays. So typically from like mid-November-ish until the end of the year. I'm not the biggest fan of this parade. I don't even really know why. I guess maybe because I just don't. I'm sure we'll talk about this at some point when we cover the holidays. I just don't like the holidays in the parks. And so, you know, I could take it or leave it.
Okay.
But people swear by it. People love this parade. It is awesome nonetheless. Like I can admire the work that goes into it and the cuteness of some of it. One thing that is totally unmatched about this parade is the size of the floats. These floats are huge. In particular, Shrek and Donkey float that has Donkey's wife, the dragon, on it. And this dragon is 35 feet long with a 16-foot wingspan. She's huge.
Yeah.
This parade also requires a team of over 300 people to plan and produce and rehearse. So again, even though it might not be my cup of tea, I can certainly appreciate the work and the effort that goes into it. They actually make it snow during the finale of the parade when you see the Christmas tree and Santa Claus, which is really cool. I can admit that. Although I'll tell you what, if I'm in those parks during like November, December, when it actually is snowing at home for me, the last thing I want to see is snow. Okay. I'm just going to put that out there.
Yeah.
You're going to see floats. You're going to see floats from IPs like Despicable Me, Madagascar, Shrek, and then, of course, you're going to have a float with Santa Claus. Each IP has multiple floats, which kind of is one thing that sets this aside from like the mega movie parade, is that instead of having a ton of different IPs represented, it's just a couple IPs, and each IP has several different floats. So like Despicable Me has 3 floats. Maybe that's one reason that it kind of like irks me, is that it's just a lot of the same thing, I guess.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I also feel like it's definitely animated centric. So if you are looking, if you're not like looking for more of like an adult, more of like the like nostalgia or something like that, you're not really going to get that
this ain't it.
with this. Yeah. But like,
unless you're really nostalgic for Shrek.
But the one thing I thought was cool about it was that if you never make it to the Macy's Day Parade in person, like you get to at least see, like
it's a cool little baby version.
Balloons. Yeah.
Yeah. These balloons are incredible. It's very entertaining to watch the people trying to handle the balloons. Probably shouldn't laugh at that because I know it's a very difficult job, like seeing it in the past.
Yeah.
But it is kind of funny. But yeah, again, you're going to have over 100 street performers along with the parade who are either handling the balloons or who are dancing in this typically, since it's later in the year, is going to be a nighttime parade. And so there are a lot more lights that are integrated. A lot of the costuming and things like that have a lot of lights, which does add a certain element, absolutely, and can make that look really, really cool at night. I feel like the best place to watch this parade is if you can find a spot out in front of the Revenge of the Mummy, because that's where the Christmas tree is. And if you can get pictures of the floats as they're passing by the Christmas tree, especially like the Santa Claus float as he's passing by the Christmas tree at night with the snow falling, it can be very magical. So they're much,
I love it.
Much less in quantity compared to Disney, but the quality is there.
I think the one thing, not the movie parade, because that's actually, so much newer, and like Starlight, obviously. But I do wonder with some of these parades that they've had around for, years, if they'll ever look at updating, like they're going to get new Macy's balloons, or like
maybe that's another reason why I'm kind of just like done with it, because the Mardi Gras parade, you've got some floats that recur year after year, but the theming is different. The majority of the floats is different. Universal Mega Movie Parade, because it is so new, you're not as used to seeing those floats year after year. So will those become a little tired down the line? I'm sure. So maybe that is another strike that I have against the Christmas parade. But
I feel like, because I haven't seen the Mardi Gras one, but I've seen the other two. And my takeaway is, like, the Christmas parade is just like kind of monotonous in like the flow of it.
Yeah.
Whereas like the Great Movie Parade, you could probably see that parade like a dozen times and try to take pictures and get different pictures and different expressions. Like the people who make up that part of the parade. That's the other thing too. I love like human face characters versus like people who have like the big heads on. I love seeing I love seeing facial expressions. I don't care if you don't look exactly like Michael J. Fox. Like, we get it.
Yeah.
That's hard to recreate.
Although they do a great job with that.
They do. Yeah. But like the way that like Doc Brown and Marty like interact with each other, they do such a good job with all aspects that you can watch it, you can know what's coming, and it's still going to be a different experience. Whereas like the Christmas parade is a lot of just like King Julian waving at you, a minion waving at you. You're like, okay.
Yeah, you're right. There are some really magical moments, like I said.
The movie parade's my favorite of all of the Universal ones.
So incredible. I could watch it all day, every day. I have the wallpaper on my phone all the time is just a like reel that flips through pictures from the Mega Movie Parade.
Oh, that's cute. Oh my gosh. I'm sad I've only seen it once. It's like, it's hard to go to Florida in the summer, and then when you are down there, it's like if it rains at night, they're not going to run it. And I know when it first started, they didn't have all the floats out. Like I remember, I think Lee was saying they were there and they didn't get to see the Jurassic Park, or someone didn't get to see the Jurassic Park. And when we went, we were lucky enough we got to see afterwards.
Everything. Yeah. There was actually, I think there were like 2 Jurassic Park ones that were added afterwards, because they also have the gyrospheres. Along with the T-Rex float, and then the Ecto one from Ghostbusters wasn't working for the longest time. So that wasn't running.
We were lucky,
but they have like expanded it a bit over the years, then adding in the floats that were supposed to be there in the first place, but just weren't.
So, well, I hope they keep showing it, and I love it.
Yeah, and I really think that one like spans all ages. In 2024, it was like a month after it debuted, and my husband and I took our kids, and I remember my 5-year-old at the time just being like amazed by it. And even though they were IPs that maybe he wasn't necessarily like super familiar with, although he is my child, so he is familiar with Jaws and Jurassic Park, and at that time he was obsessed with ET. We were watching ET every single day. It was obnoxious, honestly. I've created a monster with that one. But even to see his reaction to these IPs that he wasn't even super thrilled with at that point, or was maybe a little too young for, it's just so well done.
Well, who knows? Maybe they'll throw a Harry Potter one in there in the future or something.
I've always wondered about that. I'm sure it has something to do with like the rights, and J.K. Rowling has so much control over what is and is not allowed in terms of park content and things like that. And so that's why you don't see it anywhere else. But that would be so awesome. I would love that.
That'd be really cool. All right. So what do you think? Which one of us scored the most hits with this battle? We want to hear from you. Vote in our Who Won weekly poll on social media. We are at Theme Park Throwdown on Instagram and Facebook. And you can also watch video recordings of all of our episodes on YouTube. You can shoot us an email at themeparkthrowdown@gmail.com. And if you need help planning your next vacation, reach out to one of us for your travel needs. Just go to portkeyvacations.com and fill out a quote request form to help you get started with planning the vacation of your dreams. So you can go and see all of these wonderful parades, minus the electric water pageant.
Skip that one.
Sorry about that. Yeah. You can reach out to us on our individual social media pages as well that we've shared. And don't forget to check out our sister podcast on the UUOP network, the unofficial Universal Orlando podcast, the Taste of Universal podcast, the unofficial Universal Great Britain podcast, the Porky Passport, a Disney podcast for adults, which will be rebooting soon with some new voices.
Yeah.
The theme park duo for your West Coast parks, Russia Fear, a Halloween Horror Nights podcast, and Big Dumb Stuff. You can also check out our network partner, The Fudge Factor, on YouTube for park vlogs. That's it for this throwdown. We'll see you next week in the ring. Ding, ding, ding.
Bye. Where's the stop button?